Hello again. It is tea time here at the Zepho backyard. I can just hear some dogs, some birds, and a little bit of construction, I think, over there. Hopefully not too distracting, but I just wanted to talk you through the process of hot tea and give you some pointers if you haven't done it before. I know many of us growing up in the South are very familiar with iced sweet tea. This is still sweet. I prefer it sweet, but a little different technique, and it's so soothing. I have a cup of tea or two every single day. Afternoon feels like tea time to me, but also certain kinds I really love kind of in the evening. I'm still a coffee in the morning person, but many people drink tea for breakfast. It has a little less caffeine. You can use any kind of tea that you like. There are so many different kind of flavors. If you're not a huge tea lover, you might start with something like a blueberry tea, or if you like peppermint, there's some really pleasant peppermint teas. I like the more rich flavors. I love ginger teas. I like ginger for digestion. I like chamomile for sleeping. Anyway, here are two of my favorites. Both of these are from Harney and Sons, which is a US brand. I also love the Bigelow, but you can do any kind of, there are different ones even at Publix that are made in England, Twinings or Yorkshire or whatever. You really can't go wrong. You just try them till you find one that you really like. So then you have to decide, are you going to do loose leaf tea or are you going to do bags of tea? And I'm doing a bag because I think that's a little simpler place to start. But just so you can see, when you buy loose leaf tea, it looks like this. Okay, it's dried leaves, and these are really dark because I like black teas. And this one is called Paris, and it's really sweet and nice. It has vanilla notes and kind of fruity. The smell is just amazing. So for loose leaf tea, it usually gives the directions how much of the loose leaf tea to how much water. And so you just always have to start with boiling water. You can boil it in a tea kettle, electric, or on the stove, or a pan of hot water, or even in the microwave. Just you want boiling hot water. Then if you use loose leaf, so most people would probably put it in a pot and let it steep for a while, and then use one of these little strainers that you just place right on top of your cup. It can sit there with these handles, and you just use your teapot to pour over. So what that does, it lets the tea come through. You can see it's like a little sieve, but it holds the tea leaves in place so that they don't get into the tea. Interestingly, some of your teachers and I went to tea once after there had been a huge ice storm, and finally their roads were nice enough that we could get out, but restaurants were just kind of opening after a week of shutdown. So we were anxious to get out and go to tea. And when we arrived, they served us some loose leaf tea in the pitcher or teapot, and then just handed us the cups, but no sieves. So I said, could I have a sieve, please? And he said, we don't have any of those. And I'm like, yes, you do. It's a tea house. I promise you do. And he's like, no, I don't think so. And we were quick to figure out he was the dishwasher and had never been put on the floor as wait staff before. And I think they just got who could get into work that day. But you guys, I asked him, I'm like, well, how do you recommend that we drink our tea? If we just pour it directly into our cups, it's going to have leaves floating around in it. And he said, and I quote, just sip off the top. What? Like, for a tea lover, that is just insanity. And that's what that is. I haven't been back to that particular one since then. So this is a tea bag that most of you would use, and these are lovely clear ones. They're nice little sachets, and you just gently pull off the tag, and this is what you have. Yours may be square, doesn't really matter. So I have had mine seeping for a little while. So what that means is I put the tea bag into the cup and poured the boiling water over it. and most require about 3 minutes. If you like it a little bit richer, up to 8 minutes. I've just seen one, the throat coat or throat ease tea, you actually steep covered for 10 minutes. But generally 3 minutes is just fine. You can usually tell by the color. Some people like to dunk theirs like this. It really doesn't matter. But it should be a nice dark caramelly color. So here's my trick. If I'm using tea bags instead of loose leaf, I'm going to sit it in a teaspoon and wrap the string around it, and that lets me squeeze out some extra tea. And then I just use the little tag on the end to press down. So I have one finger on the spoon and one finger on the tag. And what that's doing is it means I'm not burning myself on a hot tea bag because I have that protection from the tag and the metal of the spoon. Okay. If you have it just like this, you're going to think that it's really, really bitter. It's probably more bitter than even your sort of unsweet tea that you might order out. So we're going to add sugar. Now I will say, if you are, these are just little sugar cubes. It's kind of the traditional way to do it. And you could use 2, 3, 4, depending on how sweet you like your tea. I'm going to go mid-range with 3. Sometimes in England, there's this kind of stereotypical joke of 1 lump or 2. And I'm like, 4, please. I like mine sweet, but I think for this size cup, this is a little set made in England. If any of you know Sherry Barrett, that teaches piano out of the Murray Arts Academy, she gave me this actually after, is that this one? I have 2 maroon ones. This one may be the one Miss Gassman and Miss Burton and I have matching ones that we got in Stratford upon Avon. Actually, I think that's this one. Either way, they're made in England and I love them. They're special to me. So I'm just stirring up the sugar and dissolving that before I add my milk. Others, okay, so if you had a teapot filled with steeping tea leaves, you may choose to put your milk and sugar in the bottom of your cup and stir that before you add your tea. I never go that approach just because I judge how much creamer to add based on the color of the tea. So I am a milk blast kind of girl. Kind of untraditional, but that's the way I do it. So this would be half and half, or you could use heavy cream. You can use milk, but I just think half and half is about the perfect level of richness. So now you can see this color, right? It's just a pale brown, almost blonde, caramel blonde. And this is how you do it. So that tea bag would probably be great for another cup. They usually serve 2 cups. So I can use a teapot and put 2 bags in it, even if I'm not using loose leaf, and then just pour that in and enjoy. It's sweet. It's rich. It's so warm and soothing. Perfect for a day like today. Enjoy your tea time.